This is true also for the enemy. Can you gaze upon the eyes of another and see past the flesh, past the ideas and belief systems, to gaze deep into the reflecting pool within, and there recognize your own divinity staring back at you? We join you today to speak on matters of the heart. When we worked with prior civilizations on your world, we found that there were many who could perceive us due to the openness of their heart centers, yet there were many who could not perceive us, for their hearts were closed. They had to rely on the others to tell them what it is that we were sharing. You see where we are going with this. For it is the case now. You have people on your planet shining, beaming their open hearts. You recognize them, you know them, and you have those who are struggling to maintain an open heart, struggling to express that which is natural to them, and a few there are who have hearts sealed shut. And it is the case that there are people who desire communication with extraterrestrials, but they feel, they believe it must come from outside sources. They do not believe they can interface them directly, but we would like all of you to know and trust that should you desire personal contact, ask and you shall receive. You need not rely on intermediaries. This was the downfall of our attempts in working with your people. Indeed, the downfall of other workings executed by various civilizations for messages become warped to suit the needs and agendas of those transmitting, as was the case with the priest class in what you know as Tula and other places in Mesoamerica and across the sea in those lands we knew as Kem, now called Egypt. We would like all to attempt their own correspondences with our kind and others like us. We are not advocating the elimination of intermediaries. However, keep in mind there will be distortions, and some have their agendas that are not based in love, unity, light, or the upliftment of all humanity. Some wish solely to benefit from exploit the desires for knowledge from others, exploit the belief systems that many have that lead them to believe they cannot access the information on their own. We advocate discernment in this regard. And now we believe it most appropriate for us to speak on love. What does it mean to love yourselves and your enemy? We see that there is an internal conflict with some who believe if they were to fully express love for themselves in totality, that this may not be fully spiritual, that there is an over excess in humility to the point that you cannot recognize your worthiness. You are worthy of the kingdoms of heaven. You are worthy of all you may conceive of and more by virtue of your mere existence. This is so. This is true also for the enemy. Can you gaze upon the eyes of another and see past the flesh, past the ideas and belief systems, to gaze deep into the reflecting pool within, and there recognize your own divinity staring back at you? We suggest this practice. We suggest before you cast the first stone, you remember who it is you are condemning. It is the self and only the self. It is your divinity embodied in another flesh vehicle. It matters not that you may disagree deeply with their tenets, with their actions, with who it is that they are, what it is that they stand for. The eyes of your divinity are always gazing back to you. Do you condemn the self? For what do you condemn the self? How does it serve any for you to condemn the self? How does it serve the vast creator, the whole of creation, to disparage the self in the form of the other self? What does it teach about the self? Where can you polish the sentiments of self? We encourage thoughtful contemplation when you are engaged in the condemnation of self and other self. What am I learning about myself through this? For what am I doing this? Why has my shadow been triggered in this way? What am I learning through the creation of a pseudo illusory separation from my other self? What does this teach about my own self? What can I polish here? Be your brother's keeper. You are all brothers and sisters of light. Tend to each other. Pray for one another. Assist where appropriate. Gather yourselves around that which is of the light. Allow yourselves to be enraptured by the light and the love of the Holy God, the one infinite source of all creation. With this, we leave you now, Adonai.